Hi everyone, welcome to Faith Friday. My name is Father Sam Kachuba. I am right now in the Absaroka Mountains in the Beartooth Wilderness in Gallatin National Forest, right near the Boulder River in Montana. It's a little vacation that I'm taking. It's fantastic. By the time you see this, I'll be home for a couple of weeks. So I'm 30 miles from the last place I had cell phone reception, but I still have indoor plumbing and electricity, so it's pretty great. While I'm out here on this little trip, I'm learning some stuff. So I'm fly fishing, and I'm not a particularly great fly fisherman or anything like that, but it's a lot of fun to do. Something that I noticed was when I get in the river, there's a pretty strong current, and it's easier to move in the river when I'm walking upstream. That is, when I'm going against the current. When I'm walking with the current, it's really easy to get knocked down. Because the water's kind of flowing behind you and you can't quite see where you're putting your feet or anything like that. So it's easy to get knocked over. Walking against the current is actually a little bit easier because you're standing upright and there's something pushing against you that helps you to stay moving in that direction. All right. I thought there's got to be a lesson in there, right? Here's the thing I was thinking about. Evangelization. When we try to share our faith, when we go out sharing our faith with other people, how are we doing it? Sometimes we try to go with the flow. That is, we try to go with the current, with the culture, with what's going on all around us. And there can be some benefits to that, but there can also be some great dangers. And the great danger, most of all, is that we're going to get knocked over by this culture that we're trying to go with. It's just going to come over and just wipe us out. On the other hand, when we go against the flow, when we go against the current, we're able to see things a little bit more clearly. So here's a scriptural example. In the Gospels, we hear about Jesus all the time going up to Jerusalem. He goes up to Jerusalem, up to Jerusalem, up to Jerusalem. That means he's going uphill. And geographically, Jerusalem was located on a hill, so he's going up, literally. But when he goes up, that means there's going to be a little bit of a challenge, right? And along the way, what do we see? Again and again and again, that's where he's challenged. That's where he's asked questions. That's where people wonder what he's really talking about. That's where people misunderstand him as he's going up to Jerusalem. But also along the way, that's how people come to understand his teaching. And that's where they come to follow him and they go up with him. We also see him go down. That is, he goes downhill. He goes a little bit more with the flow. He goes down to Jericho. Jericho symbolizes a city of sin, right? He goes down to Jericho, but what do we see immediately? He comes back up and he leaves Jericho, and a great crowd of people is always following him when he leaves Jericho. That is, he's gone down. So he's gone with the flow so that he can meet people. But when he meets them, he brings them out. He brings them out and he starts going uphill. He starts going away from that sin. Well, the same thing has to be true then with our evangelization. When we go out to evangelize, we've got to go with the flow, but only a little bit. We go with the flow. That is, we have to understand the culture. We have to understand the world in which we live so that we can communicate the gospel in its fullness more effectively to that world. It's very dangerous if we just communicate the world to the world. We're going to get knocked over. But on the contrary, if we communicate the gospel, if we go with the world to this point so that we can really meet people where they are, we can then draw them closer to Jesus Christ. But also, if we stand against the current, then we can really move with people. We can really show them the way. And so sometimes we have to go against the current. But guess what? Going against the current sometimes is actually easier. When you go against the current, you're able to see more clearly what's in front of you. You're able to see more clearly the challenges, the pitfalls, the dangers. And because we go against the current, we can see the people as they come towards us. We can see the world as it comes towards us. And therefore, we can welcome the world. We can challenge the world with the good news of the gospel, with the fullness of the gospel, with the gospel in all its authenticity, all its integrity, and all its fullness. We never hold anything back from the gospel. We never hold anything back of the message of Jesus Christ. We share it in its fullness. So when we evangelize, sometimes we're going to have to go upstream. We're going to have to go against the current. And as counterintuitive as that might sound, it's actually the best way. God bless you.